Booking Holdings stock is down by about 30% from all-time high. And there are two main reasons why the market is worried about this company, this stock. First of all, there is a war ongoing in the Middle East. And secondly, AI agents are probably going to replace the whole business. Booking Holdings is part of my portfolio and I should consider that. Whether this risk is real, whether I am buying a value trap, or maybe the market is just wrong about the company and we should keep buying. So let's talk about the war first, because this is the most recent one and the easiest to understand. This is inevitable. We are always going to have wars. Some of them are going to be bigger than others. Some of them are going to have bigger disruption on the market, on the economy. For example, this one, because it is happening in a place that is disrupting some of the largest airlines, Emirates, Etihad, Qatar. That's why it is affecting travel. You as the investor, you should be able to put that into your valuation. Every 10 years, on average, there is going to be a pandemic. Every 100 years, the pandemic is going to be much bigger. So Booking Holdings is a company that is cyclical in nature. Every 7 years, you'll have a recession. It may not be as big as 2008. It may not be as big as 1929. But you have to consider this. I'm not telling you to go deep into the numbers. You're not trying to price to sell insurance. It doesn't really matter how accurate you are. But you need to consider these scenarios in your analysis. And you take an average. That's why if a company is generating, let's say, $9 billion in earnings this year, doesn't mean that it will keep doing that. And if it is growing by 10%, don't say that it will grow by 10% every year. No, you take an average. Looking at these probabilities, let's say you can estimate it can, with high certainty, the company is going to generate $7 billion in earnings and it is going to grow on average by 7% a year, something like that. I'm just giving you numbers. It's not about Booking Holdings itself. Coming back to this company, it is cyclical. You have to consider that in the pricing. Of course, the market is going to react to the news. The market knows that we are going to have probable recessions. All this is priced in, as we like to say. But at the same time, the market reacts to what is going to happen tomorrow, and the market doesn't know much what is going to happen tomorrow or next week. So this issue is not something that worries me. But the AI agents thing, this is worrying. There was this article written 2 weeks ago talking about AI agents, how they can change so much in the world. For example, instead of you booking your hotels on booking.com, you're going to use ChatGPT or Claude and just say, I want to go to that place, please book a hotel, and the AI agent is going to do the booking directly for you without going through Booking Holdings. This is a possibility, but you have to consider that Booking Holdings, most of their partners, the hotels, the apartments, they have 2/3 of the business of Airbnb, by the way. So it's not just hotels, they also have alternatives. These are not people who are going to use agents that much. These people will still need to use the platform of Booking Holdings for marketing, because they like to use it for marketing, and also for payment. They are not going to build their own payment system to collect money. Most hotels are not going to do this. They would rather just use Booking Holdings and also Expedia, Airbnb. You have to consider the fact that over the long term, more and more people are going to travel. Even if this year we have recessions, we have war, whatever we are going to have next, overall, long term, more and more people are going to travel. Travel is always growing more than GDP all over the world, because as you get richer, you don't know what to do next. You have already bought your second TV. Maybe you want to travel the world. So over the world, more and more people are going to travel. More people are going to be booking hotels. They are not going to sleep on the streets. So there is this tailwind for Booking Holdings. Of course, you can argue that because of AI agents, there is also a headwind. I agree, there is a headwind. It is going to affect the business, but not that much. I wrote my own article responding to the Sistrini one about the AI agents, and I don't think that the fear of AI replacing everything is that much. And it all comes back to capital expenditures. These companies building the AI infrastructure, Meta, Microsoft, and especially the private ones, Anthropic, OpenAI, they're spending hundreds of billions in capital expenditures. And there are places in the whole system where there are companies in trouble. Kobe even is an example. And you cannot just keep spending. It's not like software. At some point you spend and then you have the product. For example, Adobe, they spend in the research and development, they spend even capex, and then they have the product, they can sell it. They don't have to keep spending to duplicate the software. You make it once and then you sell it. That's the advantage of the internet, giving us businesses that don't require much capital to operate, to grow. But this is not the case with the so-called hyper scammers, hyperscalers, because they are spending money, they are losing money. Every time you use ChatGPT, they are losing money. OpenAI is losing money. And even if you're paying $20 for ChatGPT, they are still losing money on you. If you are paying $200 on ChatGPT, they are still losing money on you. For example, these numbers are for Claude, people paying $200, but they are spending over $50,000 in tokens. At some point, the investors investing in AI, they would want to make their money back. As I told you, you have to keep spending. It's not even like railroads. You build the railroads, the trains are going to come, you just maintain them. But with AI, with the competition, you have to keep expanding, you have to keep buying the latest chip or make your own chips. So where does it end? That's what Michael Burry argues, that we are in a bubble. I'm not going to call it a bubble, I don't know. But where does it end? Where does the capex ever end? It seems that it will never end. I will suggest you read the whole article I wrote talking about all of this. For today, let's come back to Booking Holdings. What does this mean for Booking Holdings? People are saying in just 2 years, we are all going to be using HS. I'm not sure. Maybe some people are going to use it. But the way that things are developing, I don't think that these companies can maintain 8 billion people using AI agents, not even in 10 years. It is going to affect the business of Booking Holdings, but that is not such a bad thing as people are saying. The business is going to adapt to it, just like it adapted to Google, just like it adapted to many different things, to competition, to Airbnb. It adapted. That's why you have to invest in businesses that are well managed, that have strong fundamentals. Even if something bad is happening, they can invest. They're investing 700 million next year in AI. So they are doing something. Actually, if you listen to the last earnings calls, so far AI has saved money to Booking Holdings. That doesn't mean that the stock will not drop further. It may drop further, 30%, 60%, but the company is buying back shares. But I'm thinking long term. People are going to travel. It's a great business, well managed. I don't see any reason why I should not be owning this company, more of this company. If it falls down, I will buy. Maybe it falls down. Next year we have a pandemic. Then the year after that we have a recession. Who knows? Will we go further down? But if you're thinking 20 years from now, it's a wonderful company to buy at this time and to keep buying. That's what I'm doing. Unless, of course, we have an asteroid strike, but that happens only once every 100 million years. And if it happens, we will have other things to worry. That doesn't mean that you should be buying every stock that looks undervalued. I talked about PayPal last week. I will recommend you watch this video next. Have a nice day and goodbye.